I nearly dropped and destroyed every piece of equipment setting up for this video, so if that's gonna set the precedent, then I'm doing fantastic. I wanted a nice little aesthetic of drinking out of this mug. However, I wanted to drink Capri Sun and not coffee or tea, so I was thinking I could just dump this in here. Let's see. First, I gotta open up the floodgates to the Capri Sun. I just spilled Capri Sun on the floor. You know what? We're just gonna do this. So, I get a lot of questions about my music, how I make it, what equipment I use, and just kind of all the fun things surrounding that topic. I thought that I would go through those things and address how I make music without actually being good at it. So stay tuned if you want some of my wisdom? I don't know what to call it. I guess that my hope for this video is that it can maybe inspire some of you who may think that you're not that good at music. Guess what, guys? I'm really not either. First things first, most people ask about what microphones I use, and I'm gonna put a little disclaimer out there. Just because you have a fancy microphone doesn't mean that your music is going to be good. Good music is good music, regardless of what you're recording on. With that being said, let's talk about what I record my garbage music on. I started off with the Zoom H1 and it has really good quality, and then I transitioned into the Blue Yeti microphone. This is the one that I currently record all of my music on. I also got a pop filter with it, so if you want to check this out, I will put the link in the description. It's a USB microphone, which is really handy because you don't have to buy an interface along with it to plug it into your computer. You can just put it straight into the computer and it'll go into whatever software you're using. This and the Zoom H1 were both around $100. I can't really notice a quality difference in between them. There's not one that I really prefer over the other. However, the Zoom H1 is more portable, so I'll take that with me when I travel. This chunky thing is kind of hard to travel with, so I keep this one at home and I really like it. It's not necessarily about being the best, because I've recognized that I'm not the best and I probably never will be. I'm very far from it. However, you can still be successful even if you're not the best. You just have to bring a unique aspect to the table and draw people in with that. I hope I've been able to do that for you guys. I try to add kind of a comedic element to my music, or just something that's really awkward or kind of like out there. What the heck? What is she doing? And you know, maybe I haven't been doing a good job at that, but I really do try, because I realize I don't have killer vocals that are going to put me at the top of the charts. So I may as well just be authentically me and just put art out there in a very different form. Another way that I make music without actually knowing what I'm doing is by picking up an instrument that isn't hard to learn. So guys, look what we have here. You could definitely pick this up. I think it's added just such a special element to my music, and I'm gonna take it back to the world. You gotta keep people on their toes. I kinda also wanna learn how to play the guitar, so if you would like to see a video on that, let me know in the comments, because it's been a lifelong dream of mine and I've just kind of been scared to take that step, so maybe y'all can help encourage me. Before I record vocals, I typically cry for a solid 15 minutes. It just adds a really special element in tone to my voice. It kind of gets that rasp in there, that kind of desperation, the cry for help. And it's pretty easy for me to do that because I cry on an average of 5 times a day, so I can really record vocals at any time. All of my original music is really sad because I'm only inspired to write whenever I'm going through something rough. And it's really quite unfortunate because everyone thinks that I'm sad all the time, which is kind of true, but also I just can't write happy songs. So if you're gonna be sad, just put it out there in a song and people will probably think that you're just this really sad person who never thinks happy thoughts, but it's okay. One way that I've built my confidence up in music, even though I'm not the greatest, is by having my sister gas me up. I just tell her to tell everyone how great I am at it, and it really seems to do wonders for me. Okay, Eden, what do you think of my music?
It's trash.
No, that's not what we planned.
Oh, I mean...
Wait, okay, let's try this again. Eden, what do you think of my music?
Elise's music is really great. It is not trash at all. Also, y'all should go subscribe to me. It's
okay, that's enough. If you don't have a sister, you can always tell your dog to do it.
Sunshine, what do you think of my music? Aw, thanks.
Sad ooh woo. I also like to do this thing where I just learn one piece really, really well on an instrument and I'll play that over and over. So anytime someone asks me to play something, I'm like, I got this one thing that I know how to do really well. If you ask me to play something else, heck, I won't be able to do that, but listen to how awesome I play this one thing. Sure, it may be the only thing that I know how to play, but they don't have to know that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. I may not be Ariana Grande or as talented as her, but I am myself, and that is something so cool. Ariana could never be me, even though she probably wouldn't want to in a million years. You just have to think in that mindset that no one else can be you. Except for in the future if they learn how to clone, then someone else can be you. Or if they start doing brain transplants. That would be scary as heck, but you don't know what's gonna be happening in 2050. I wish more artists would add kazoo to their music. I feel like it's a very underrated instrument that just doesn't get enough attention. I'm sick of it. Now for the audio software. I use GarageBand. There are so many different types of softwares out there. There's Logic, Ableton, Audacity. Honestly, I don't know the names of all of them, and I'm sure that each of them have their pros and cons. Maybe one is better for a certain type of music that you're wanting to go for. The reason I use GarageBand is because it came free with the Mac that I purchased. This is honesty hour, and I'm gonna tell y'all that I have no idea what I'm doing in GarageBand. I've tried to poke around in there and find things that make my voice sound better. So here's a little crash course of how you can work GarageBand if you really have no idea what you're doing, but you want to try to make things sound a little bit better. You know, the whole making music without being good at it. This is prime example.
Here's an example of audio straight from the microphone that hasn't been messed with yet. So it's a sample of voice and guitar. I'll go ahead and play it.
I don't know what I'm doing at all, oh yeah.
Usually for something like this, I just go over to the left side where all of these presets are, and I go into voice and do tracking vocal, and that will already change stuff with the EQ and the reverb, and it kind of just messes with it all by itself, and you don't have to do anything. So here's how it sounds now.
I don't know what I'm doing at all, oh yeah.
Maybe you can tell a difference, maybe you can't. But personally for me, I think it sounds more clear and also just more professional. But sometimes I do want to do some further editing, so I will come up here and click this dial. I'll drag down the reverb because sometimes it's just too much for me and put it maybe about right there. And you can also mess with compression. Sometimes it sounds nicer to have it, why won't it go? More compressed, but this kind of hates me right now. I usually put it like over here. And you can also mess with all of the frequencies. Not sure what that does, but you can just drag the dial until it sounds better, or you find something that you think sounds better. Also, my puppy's barking. Now you can also mess with the EQ. I have no idea what all of the lines mean, but I know that it has something to do with frequency. If you drag one up, it cuts out either lower end or higher frequencies, and it'll make your audio sound more clear. I usually drag this purple one up and back, and it makes it sound more clear. And then sometimes I will also drag this orange one or drag this up. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do, and it's going to be different depending on each recording on which one you're going to drag. I recommend either looking up a tutorial from someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to this, or just dragging all these lines around until it sounds nicer. You know, if you drag it one way and it sounds gross, drag it the other way and kind of find a happy medium.
I've never had a voice lesson in my life, no music lesson for that fact, no guitar lessons, no ukulele lessons. I truly have like zero understanding of music theory, maybe just a little bit of the chromatic scale. Basically what I'm trying to say is if I don't understand music theory, what am I supposed to measure up my music to? How do I determine if something is good or not? That's why it all comes down to opinion. Something that I may think sounds good, someone else may think is not good music. So I can say that I'm bad at music and it's not necessarily me fishing for compliments, it's just my opinion, and someone else could think that my music sounds good, if that makes sense. Music is art, so it's kind of hard to say if what I make is good, because every person is gonna have a different opinion about it. And that's all I got. I hope that it was kinda helpful in some sense of the word. If you have any other questions about how I make my music, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. I may do some type of Q&A in the future related to this madness. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you have a fantastic day. I love y'all. Bye.